working. No. If it is so white, it's blurry. Whether my eyes are blurry or it's blurry. I think this is not clean. Oh yeah. The how do you say this? Camera was dirty. So when I did this, it helped. Okay. Okay. Inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
So we are reading from the Seedbed of the Light, the third treatise, on the bottom of page 60. The lordship and sovereignty observed in this fleeting world point to the everlasting world. Here we observe the manifestations of a magnificent, eternal lordship and the works of a permanent and splendid sovereignty. Consider the grandeur of this lordship's owner. He causes the ever-changing earth, which submits to him, to die and then brings it back to life, manages and directs it. He manages the sun and its satellites, all of which are subjugated to his power, and moves the whole sun-centered system. This magnificent eternal lordship, and we can stop there, yeah.
Now, we have been discussing this subject. So whatever is happening, I understand from this paragraph, whatever is happening in this world is the manifestation of the lordships of this lordship's owner. I mean, the one who owns this universe, he is the Lord of the universe. It means he is the owner, he takes care of it. And he manages it. That's what the paragraph is saying actually. We see everything is under control and everything is perfectly arranged, administered. So we always refer to the fact that the universe cannot be meaningless because everything is perfectly ordered and arranged. There must be a purpose in it. That's what I understand from this paragraph. If anybody wants to discuss anything more further. Yeah.
So at the end of the paragraph, he says that he causes the ever-changing earth which submits to him to die, and then brings it back to life, manages it, and directs it. What is it trying to say with managing it after bringing it back to life?
So it is in a well-ordered. We see that in this universe it is well-ordered. So it is managed, it's not accidental. And what he does as the Earth revolves on its surround, we understand that the seasons are changing, the things are dying, and then they are recreated again. And there must be a purpose. Why? Let's be a little bit free-minded. If you are going to recreate it next season, why do you let them die now? Can you not really sustain their life? We see that some creatures live for a fraction of a second. Did you know that? Some living beings in the microscopic level, they live just a fraction of a second. They live and die. There are billions of them. You know, when you don't brush your teeth, they say in the morning you will find billions of new creatures there. No latecomers, please. No, not allowed. Okay. So, where is your share? Alaikum assalam. Where is? Yeah. Asif. Where is your brownie? And you look, this Qasim doesn't. Okay. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Yeah. Don't wait for service. Okay.
So it's talking about a bigger range, not just the idea of, because when I read like to die and bring back to life, I was actually thinking about resurrection.
No, not
But it's
in
not
this
about
world.
that. It's
Yeah.
in this world. Okay.
That's very good. In this world, for example, he creates me and gives me death and then creates my children and gives them, look what are you doing? If you are going to create another person, why don't you keep me alive? It's quite normal. So there must be a purpose. There must be a purpose. Sure. Okay, that's up to you or otherwise. Okay, there must be a purpose in this circle. Giving life and then giving death. Giving life and then giving death. So some creatures live, we said, in a very short time. The other creatures live 1,000 years, that are living beings. It doesn't mean that he couldn't sustain their life. That's why. No, he's sustaining the life of other living beings. And whoever manages this world must be able to do so. So why does he give different periods of life? And definitely everything is transient. That is also interesting. Not only that the living beings are transient, and everything is transient, everything is ever changing. Why? Why he keeps changing? So it is food for thought. We have to question. Okay.
I have a question. In that same sentence, when it's saying he causes ever-changing earth, which submits to him, it seems like it gives agency to the earth. How are we supposed to understand the earth submitting to him?
Are you reading from first?
Page
No.
14. The top part of the paragraph.
Ever-changing earth, which submits to him.
Mhm.
So the question is,
So how are we supposed to understand the earth submitting to the creator?
or
What does that mean?
my counter question is, how can you say that it is not submitting?
Mhm.
Do you think it acts on its own, the earth? everything submits to the order or the will of its creator. Why? Because they cannot act on their own. They are subject to the order. They cannot go out of it. Nothing can go out of it. For example, do you think Earth may not revolve one day? Is it possible? Can you imagine? Anything, not only the Earth, anything. For example, you or me. Can we not really go out of the order and start acting freely? Is it possible? Yeah. So it means the way we are made demonstrates clearly that we are submitting to the will of the order. All of us, everything at every level. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's just the way it's phrased makes it seem like the earth, like that, as if creation has a choice, which submits to him, as if it's freely doing this.
The way it is created demonstrates that it is submitting.
I was just going to emphasize that I think from my understanding of submission tends to fall as a choice which is basically fueled by will. So here I think because we know that earth or even a stone does not have a will, that it's choosing by itself, submit here has a different meaning. It basically it comes from the lack of will as opposed to the result of a will. Just wanted to bring that up.
Even if, for example, if I put this pencil here and demonstrate that as the owner of the pencil, example, putting here, it means I want it to be here, and it has no option but accept what I want, what I want. Yeah. So, but I understand where the confusion comes from. Submitting is a free will.
Right,
But
so it's submitting to your will.
Yeah, it is submitting to my will because it has no other option. It means I am the master of this pencil in this relationship.
One more point. I think this sentence here, he causes the ever-changing earth, which submits to him to die, and so on and so forth. I think the reason why I got confused in my first time I read this was also because it's speaking from, in a way, it's speaking from the creator. It seems like it's speaking from the creator's perspective. But if you read the sentence in a way that the ever-changing earth is not happening, or is not, let's say, is not a result of its own will, which then begs the question, whose will is it acting upon? And I think that helps me understand this sentence a bit more, because I feel like this sentence kind of jumps from the creator's perspective.
So I think we understand from our practical experience of the word what it really means. So I think if there is no other question, we can continue. Yeah. Any other question, concern?
I just had a thought that perhaps it does have a free will, but we can't really get into its mind. Maybe it is doing it by its choice, and maybe someday, because what if, looking at climate change, looking at everything, maybe because of the outside factors is causing it to act differently. Maybe it has the power to act differently, and we will just know when it happens.
No, even the climate change, no. There are two aspects. One is a very quick answer. Even the climate change takes place within the order. It cannot take place as a will of something else. The order has already established. For example, if you heat this room, it will come on. It doesn't mean that the room has a will. That's one thing. But this is a very quick and easy answer. But the fundamental answer will be, we can only look at the universe from our perspective. And we can use our position as given data or given criterion.
Based on our
Given.
studies.
Given. Look, I say, no, as far as my ability tells me that I have a free will, but the pencil doesn't. But in fact, pencil might have another kind of free will that I may not be able to perceive or conceive which kind of free will it has, none of my concern. I am comparing the world, everything according to my own given qualities. That we say, I am alive, the pencil is not alive. That's what I say. But this statement is true according to the capacity that I have been given.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in reality, some language of the texts or scriptures infer that they are alive. Why? Because they act as if they are alive, or they are created in a way that they do some job, some duties. They perform some duties. How? For example, just like this, the way they are created shows me that this is designed or engineered by a conscious being. But as far as my capacity is concerned, I cannot say that the pencil is alive. But I can deduce some meaning from its being or from its existence as it is, and say that that's my conclusion. The pencil is speaking to me and telling me, but I'm speaking from my perspective, and telling me that it is an engineer. Now, if someone wants that attitude of the pencil, or that status of the pencil, may be interpreted that it has a kind of will of its own kind, or another kind that I don't know. That is not my concern.
So in other words, you're saying we make the objects live for us. So when I look at the pencil, my inevitable conclusion is that it must have a designer. So
yeah, I conclude from it. That's my conclusion. That's my conclusion. So when the Quran says everything consciously glorifies its creator, the Quran, or the speech of God to me, guidance of God to me. It means it is an advice to me. Try to see which kind of message you can extract from their existence. It is an advice to me. But doesn't mean that it is giving, or the scripture is giving an information or what the pencil is in fact doing. Not my business. My business is my responsibility. What am I going to do? I have to extract meaning from the existence of the pencil. That's my business. That's my responsibility. Whether in fact, in reality, it has a free will or not, none of my concern. But I can extract a meaning from it and act accordingly, or interpret the creation accordingly. Okay?
This magnificent, eternal lordship and comprehensive perpetual sovereignty, which amazes intellects through its awesome acts, cannot be confined to the ever-changing, momentary affairs related to this changeable, transient world. Among the pavilions of this lordship, this world is but an arena of trial, a place of exhibition. It will be destroyed at an appointed time and then reformed into the foundation of the everlasting palaces to which its inhabitants will be transferred.
Now, the last part of the paragraph, before anybody raises any question, the last part of the paragraph needs to be discussed and, how do you say, elaborated, maybe needs evidence. You know, how do we know that there's everlasting places to which so reformed into the foundations of the everlasting places? How do we know that they are going to be reformed into the foundations of everlasting places, palaces, or everlasting existence? So it needs to be discussed. But before this, the beginning of the paragraph now, magnificent eternal lordship and comprehensive perpetual sovereignty. Now, how do we know that? The things are passing, changing, and disappearing from one type of existence, but it doesn't mean that, for example, somebody is making the pencil and the pencil disappears and there's no other pencil, finished. You can say that he was able to make only one pencil because the second pencil didn't come. But the universe is such that it's amazing. It's really amazing. And this the paragraph says, amazes intellectuals through its awesome acts. One thing goes away, but there is no vacuum. Definitely the other things come into existence, or other things are brought into existence, because we cannot come into existence by ourselves, or I cannot say that pencil came into existence by itself. It doesn't make sense to me as I am a human being. So definitely I understand that from my own existence, taking my own existence as the most powerful example. So I didn't come into existence by myself. Somebody brought me. So it is continuously changing, but no vacuum. So we don't see that today there is no existence, for example, but another day appears another universe. No, it is. Don't you think that it is so amazing? Everything is changing, but there is no non-existence. What does it mean? So this intellect, human intellect, should ask the question, what's going on here? What's going on? If you are going to replace it, why do you take it away? If you take it away, why do you give another one? What are you doing? Whoever is doing this, if you like, this kind of manifestations or demonstrations, actually, as the word exhibition here in the paragraph is used, exhibition. What are you exhibiting? So, for example, if you go to a fair, let's say industrial fair or technology fair, yeah, a company is demonstrating one, let's say, what's very famous now, the computer. one type of computer and taking it away and brings another type. Takes it away, brings another type. What does it mean? It's an intellectual being. What do you get? What do you get out of this kind of exhibition or demonstration? Come on. What do you think that this company is doing?
Producing goods continuously.
This another computer, another type of computer, another type of computer. What do you get it again?
I'm sorry?
What did you say?
I said it keeps producing goods continuously.
And what does it mean then? Why does it takes and puts? What does it
To
mean?
catch the consumer's attention. That, hey, here's something new, not something new, like constantly engaging.
What is the message for the consumer or the clients or buyers?
Updating.
Or an undepleting source.
Say it again.
Undepleting source. Undepleting. So it's
I
an
don't know the word.
eternal source.
Eternal, undepleting, never ending.
Yeah.
It means, look, I can produce all sorts of computers. Right? There's no limit to my production of computers. Continuously renewing the new types. It means, I didn't know the word, I'm depleting, did you say?
It doesn't run out.
Run out, yeah. And that's source. Isn't that very simple to understand? The creator of the universe, by changing the universe, creating the universe in a changing form, lets me as a person, as I am, I mean, using the intellect, questioning, trying to understand the meaning, as I am, lets me know that the source of existence of the universe has no end. Continuously changing. Yeah. So this exhibition, this type of exhibition is telling us something. So his acts are not, cannot be, what did he say that the word, cannot be confined to what I only see here. Because of the ever-changing nature of the creation. Do you understand that? It is interesting. For example, if you sit here, no, there is a river coming, yeah? Okay? So it's continuously running. And you have been there, let's say, for 5 minutes. Can you say that this water runs through the riverbed is only this much? Or you came and look at the world, look at the river, you found that it's running. So you have been there for five minutes, it is continuously running, and after you leave, what do you think? It will continue running. It means beyond the limitations of my experience with this world, the source has larger. The source of the water running there is more than what I have seen. That is how the human mind goes there. What is the beginning of this river? What is the end of this river? Not only the period of my lifespan on earth that I have said, this is the only universe. There is no other existence, or the universe can exist. Only the universe that I realized when I came and when I die, and that's finished. We know that before we came to this world, or we were sent to this world, the universe existed, and we know that after we die, it will continue to exist. It means, I mean, we cannot guarantee that it is eternally like this, but at least we know that the one who is presenting this universe, telling me as the observer, telling me that, look, I am more than what you have observed. You get it? I can do more than what you have already observed. So you can open your mind up and question who or what can be the sort of existence of this ever-changing world. Do you understand that?
I struggle with this statement where you said, I can do more than what you observe.
Yeah. They're telling me, letting me know. Yeah.
No, but isn't it only through my observation that I can come to a conclusion that that must be so?
Yeah, but through your observation, who is telling you this? Through the one who gives existence to the universe as I observe it. You see, I don't hear any other voice coming from other side. The way it is presented demonstrates me that the one who is creating this type of world or universe, letting me know that there's more than what I see. But how do I know it? Through the creation itself. So I would say, what is the beginning? What is the end? What does it mean? What does it mean for me? Because we are intellectual beings. We are questioning beings. So we can reason, but or we can deduce meaning from what we have observed and come to a conclusion about what we have not observed.
Right.
So the creation is telling me all this. This is just an exhibition. The word exhibition is very important, very good. I mean, we have to make it a reality for us, or a part of our perception of the world. You know, when we look at it, for example, you go somewhere, anywhere in your whole life, what am I doing here? I am being in an exhibition hall. It's beautiful. There is some demonstrations that are going on here, but we don't see it, or I don't see it always. Because I say, this is the world, this is how the things are, simple. This is how the things are, this is how my experience is, but I don't see that as if I am in an exhibition hall and I am the beholder or observer and somebody else is exhibiting his arts. Can you see that? So the continues looking at the new things are coming into the hall and exhibiting, looking at them. What are you doing? I am just observing what is demonstrated here, what's exhibited here. Can you see that? Have you ever felt this feeling? I felt very strongly now that it's very important, actually. We just, we keep repeating this in our classes, but must be important because it comes to my mind. We think that we are living in a static world, as if my existence is static. I exist as I am. And the room is the same room. This time we found the projector. Do you notice that it wasn't here or it was here?
I checked. It wasn't there yet.
No, I think yesterday they brought it, they lifted it, but unfortunately, it is interesting, it's not locked or chained.
We can talk about it.
So I hope they won't take it away. Or should we hide it? Should we hide it, do you think? So they shouldn't take it away. Okay. Oh, this sense is very amazing. It is very interesting. If you get used to seeing that I am in an exhibition hall, everything is changing and everything is demonstrated or presented to my observation. And I observe them. It means somebody is really demonstrating something to me consciously, and I am the one who is taking notes, who is expected to take notes of all these things exhibited here. Okay, definitely after, if we have this understanding, if we have this attitude towards the creation, definitely we should have, or we would have no doubt about the existence of the eternal demonstration. It is just an exhibition hall that somebody is continuously changing and showing. It's very interesting.
I think one more point worth mentioning is that when we're talking about our conclusion of whether or not the makers or the manufacturers of the product are confined or not, we also have to factor in the fact that the need in me to see something beyond that in this analogy is also provided to me by the manufacturer. So for me to say that there must be another form of creation, or there must be an eternal existence and things like that, it's important to take into account that, one, I have no evidence, which is what we've been talking about. I have no evidence to say that this is not going to be the case. But at the same time, I also know that the need or the want or the need to see that happen is also not my own, doing.
This is how I am made.
Yeah.
This is how I am made. Definitely, everything is consciously arranged,
Right.
purposefully arranged. The universe is in front of me, and I am given the ability to see what is beyond, what they point to,
Right.
the things point to, and everything is purposeful. Everything is purposeful. As your dimension, it gave another dimension to the picture. I took it, my existence as a static being. So you say, no, this is also dynamic. So everything is so meaningful, so purposeful. Why? What's the meaning in it? When the human beings are given the ability to ask this question, what am I expected to get out of this kind of existence? This is not a simple thing. It's not a simple, nothing is simple in the existence anyway. Everything is so sophisticated.
The word exhibition clarifies a lot.
Yeah. Exhibition. We are in the exhibition hall. It's beautiful. Okay, let's see. How do we know that it's going to be reformed into foundations of an everlasting palaces? How do we come to this conclusion? We understand this is okay. We shouldn't pass through. We shouldn't. Okay.
I have a question. So before we get to the reformation into the foundation of everlasting palaces, can we elaborate on what it means by it will be destroyed at an appointed time? Because the way I understand it is, it has to come from my perspective or my conclusion. So for me, the universe or the world ends in terms of how I'm consciously aware of it. Perfect example would be sleep. When I sleep,
Would be
sleeping.
sleeping.
So when I'm sleeping, I'm not intact with my consciousness, or I'm not aware of my consciousness, and at that point, the universe, as I know of it, is no longer existing. Only when I'm conscious again,
You realize that
it's there. So when it says it will be destroyed at an appointed time, it referring to, I guess, the earth or the universe.
the universe exists.
Right.
This type of existence.
So that has to be from, I guess, in relation to me. I cannot claim that it will be destroyed for eternally for someone else. Because I don't know after my existence how long the cycle of creation continues. I cannot make that claim because in my existence, I observe that it's constantly happening.
Yeah. So we are, as you also emphasized on the importance of our nature, then we are given the ability to question and see the wisdom behind the existing things or behind any action. We always question. We always question. For example, you brought this one. I said, why did you bring this machine? To check whether it is recording perfectly or clearly, yeah. And we brought the microphone. Why did we? We asked. Now, when you really use your ability to ask a question and directing it to the universe itself, we understand that it is continuously not changing, but being changed. Now, that's a great or a very important word. If you say the word is changing, the agent is the word itself. Or human beings ask the question, can it change itself? Does it have the quality to change itself? It doesn't make sense. As a human being, so let's say the pencil is changing itself. If I say this, they really treat me as a madman. Pencil is changing itself. But those people who claim to be intellectual people studying science, they say universe is changing itself. But it is a universe, it has no other factor. It's so crazy. If the pencil cannot change, how the universe can change itself? It's crazy. It is for human intellect doesn't make sense at all. So it is being changed. Now again, it is within the human capacity, wisdom, to understand that if something is changing, it is inferring that it is a beginning at the end. But this beginning and the end in its existence, maybe in a very fraction of a second, beginning and end. But when you generalize it, you can easily say that the universe also, because of its changing nature, must have a beginning and must have an end. But do we see it? We may not see it. And most people don't see that, don't see the beginning of the existence of universe, not most people, nobody. But we infer it. It must have a beginning. And if it is a beginning, it must have an end as well. It means if something is changing, cannot be eternal. Do you understand? If something is changing, by its own changing, cannot be eternal, my human capacity tells me this. As far as I am concerned, I cannot claim that the universe is eternal because I have no reason to really confirm this statement. The universe is eternal. It is changing, finished. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm struggling with that point. So earlier we said that basically things that undergo changes and transformations in their relation to their existence, they're not going into non-existence. Let's just say that they're transforming, right?
No, because of the exhibition. Do you see in the fair we said a company is bringing every, let's say, 1 minute a new type of computer. What does it mean? Do you think they are throwing the previous ones into non-existence or demonstrating that they have an endless source, continuous, coming? So it means they are really giving the message to the people who come there. that they have an endless source.
But the endless source isn't just of it, they're not creating, or you can say that
of course, there's an analogy.
Oh yeah, no. I am applying that analogy. In my existence, I am seeing creation transform in multiple states, like a seed turning into a flower, right?
Mhm.
Or being made turned into a flower.
Yeah.
The seed, I cannot say the seed went into non-existence, one. I'm just saying that the seed's existence is transformed and it now has a state of a flower.
Mhm.
So for the point that you made earlier was, I just felt like it was opposite to that. It was in the sense that I was saying that the universe must have an end. And in my opinion, I'm saying the universe transformed, like its existence doesn't go into non-existence, because I've not seen anything like that in my observation. But the universe may transform as I observe it every single day. But I cannot make the claim that it will go into non-existence.
No, that's correct.
But the state might end, right? So just as the state of a seed ended and it was made into a flower, the state of the seed ended. So when I'm saying that, sorry, I have to open that text again real quick. It says, it will be destroyed at an appointed time. That destruction doesn't necessarily mean non-existence. That destruction could mean the end of its state.
No. Yeah.
In relation.
Only, yeah.
Right.
No, not existence, because there is no way that I can imagine it's going into non-existence as far as I am concerned. Because if it is going to non-existence, it would be meaningless, and I can see no sign of meaninglessness in the universe.
Right.
So the agent who brings really arranges this exhibition hall doesn't seem to be nonsense. And also another aspect, by repeating the creation in the endless forms and continuously changing it again in an endless, as far as I am concerned, my capacity is concerned, and the endless different forms, demonstrating that this source is limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we cannot say that the maker of the universe or whoever is giving existence to the universe is limited with what he has performed here only, because continuously changing means it is not of the nature of changing. And it must be absolute. If it is absolute, we understand that from the nature of changing, it must have a beginning and it must have an end. But at the same time, because the source of existence of this kind of creation it cannot be limited, so the creation is not going to end. But
Existence.
this exhibition hall is going to come to an end, not the creation. The act of creation will continue, must continue, because the agent is limitless, must be absolute. We have to understand that this is just an exhibition, it is just a demonstration that, look, I can do everything I want. I am absolute. If I am absolute, then he must be the absolute creator, the limitless creator, infinite creator. If this kind of exhibition hall is going to be destroyed because of its nature that it's an exhibition hall only, it doesn't mean that the one who arranges this exhibition hall will also come to an end. There is no sign for this for human reason. It must continue. It means the act of creation must continue. That's what we human beings conclude. No? Shall we read the following paragraph? Are we done with it? Are we? Do we have this paragraph?
No, sorry. Foundation of everlasting palaces. So we're talking about, so it will be destroyed at an appointed time and then reformed into the foundation. When we say foundation, does it mean that what my, again, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. So what my conclusion is based off of at that point?
Based
off of, so
Yeah.
like the fundamentals or the core of my understanding.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the question
So,
here?
well, I'm trying to understand
Foundation of
how,
everlasting palaces. Yeah.
right, I'm trying to understand how my observation of this universe or anything and everything in this universe turns into the foundation of, and then I think everlasting palaces needs to be defined as
The
well.
foundation is for my understanding.
Right.
Do we agree on this?
Yeah.
For my understanding. Foundation is for my understanding.
Right.
The one who is exhibiting this universe is telling me that, or letting me know that he is limitless, and he is not bound to the limits of what he is doing here. And I understand that he is telling me something about his capacity.
Right.
So from the transient nature of the exhibition hall, I understand that the main source of what is coming to the exhibition hall is more than what I see. It means, as far as the creation, act of creation is concerned, act of creation means really the actor, the creator must be absolute, otherwise cannot bring into things, bring the things into existence out of nowhere. So absolute must be absolute. If it is absolute, it is telling me that, it's telling me that this is a temporary manifestation in order to introduce himself to me, in order to introduce the source to intellectual beings that they are questioning. No, what is the source of this universe? Why is it happening in this way? Because we are given these abilities to question. Why is this happening in this way that I see it? What is the point? If we don't see that it is just a transient manifestation and just an exhibition, and it is this is the way the maker of this, the creator, maker of this exhibition hall is telling me something else, referring to something else. It means, look who I am. Yeah, who I am. I can do all this. Have you seen it? So get to know me. Yeah, perfect. Get to know me. It means I am permanent. So get to know me that I am permanent. So from there, I understand that the creator of this universe is definitely giving me the news that my act of creation is endless. So what I conclude from here, this universe is the exhibition hall of the permanent place. It means in the fair, you see that there is a standing there. Let's example, representing a company. So this company is exhibiting or showing every 5 minutes a new type of computer, a new type of computer. What does it mean? they have a factory producing it continuously. Yeah? It means the source is not limited to what I see. It's continuously relieving. That is why, first of all, we have to pay attention to the existence. That the things exist. So who denies that the things exist? No one can deny it, but we don't pay attention to it. They exist. And human nature asks the question, what is the source of existence of this thing? Because they exist, they are there. How come that they are there? That's human nature. That's one fundamental, the very basic question. The second fundamental basic question is, why do they keep changing? Nothing is static. What's going on? That's very human. I have to ask this follow-up question. Why do they keep changing? So in the changing, the first of all, existing, and the second stage, in the changing nature of this universe is giving a sort of clue, news to me, the source is infinite. If the source of existence of this universe is infinite, what is the point in telling me that, hey, that's what I have doing here? Yeah, you understood with the intellect I gave you, then I am infinite. What does it mean? Do you think he's just being proud of himself or letting me know something else?
The latter.
So that I am infinite means I can create infinitely. I'm powerful of it, and I will do that. It's a promise. It's a promise. If the world was static, really, our humanity would puzzle. We wouldn't understand anything. We wouldn't really need to ask the source of existence. It has always been like this. Finished. But thanks to the dynamic nature of the creation, I can solve all my human problems or human inquiries. That's why we have to always pay attention to dynamic nature of the universe. It means it is continuously changing in the perfect order, but not exactly the same, but different. So those people who say the universe has always been like this is very simple-minded. Why? How it is? What is the point? It continues to changing.
Is it fair to say that the everlasting palaces can serve as a metaphor to an ever-confirming conclusion?
Ever-confirming conclusion, I don't know about this, but it was everlasting palaces. What I understand, which kind of palace I can imagine. No, you cannot imagine everlasting anything here. But you can conclude that the source of existence, whoever gives existence to this universe, can do everlasting creation. Do you understand? But don't concentrate on the palaces. Which kind of palace are they? Palaces or the places it will be. So don't say that the eternal life, how it is going to be. You cannot comprehend. Because there is no example of, because we only think by comparisons. But we cannot compare everlasting creation with anything. There is no peer for it, or pair or peer for it. So don't think that, for example, how let's use the religious language now, the scriptural languages, how the afterlife or hereafter is going to be. Don't ask this question. It's pointless. None of your business. You are not the architect of you are not going to be the architect of the everlasting life. Why bother? But the point is whether it is possible or it must be. And it must be. For me, everlasting act of creation, definitely possible, and it must be, because if I say, no, it's not going to happen, option. If I have this option, no, it doesn't have to be open. What is the point then demonstrating that I am the one who organizes this exhibition, or saying that I am eternal? What's the point? As if he's bragging his own power. I'm this one, But if he's not going to do it. So we conclude that it is a news for me. He is absolute, and his act of creation is limitless, and he's going to do it. Then it makes sense. That is why the universe is coming into existence in this nature, changing nature. I see that the changing of the universe is very important, and we are the observers in the exhibition hall. Then enjoy your life. Together now, what's going on, whether you like it or you don't like it, just say, the one who is really demonstrating himself that he can do this, he can do that, the big one, small one, or straight one, crooked one, everything, all the things are differently manifesting, endlessly differently manifesting. Just the simple responsibility is what? Don't deny that the source is absolute. Don't deny that he can do everything, and it is a news that he is going to do it. Then accordingly, take an attitude, nothing else. Take an attitude. I mean, really belief or living according to belief in God, the Creator who is absolute, and he's really promising that he's going to continue creating the permanent residences, permanent places. It's not difficult. But we may release life is difficult because we don't see the foundations. We just only see the ritualistic side of religion and say there is the loss of responsibilities. No, just if you know that you are in an exhibition hall, and this is a temporary exhibition hall, you know that you shouldn't steal from this world, because it's not for you to see. We just get the conclusion. Come to a conclusion. You cannot steal it. And you cannot really disdain to tell a lie. You cannot really disturb other people, because this is just a temporary place. The purpose in my being in this exhibition hall to get the result, to get the news, not to struggle. Your pencil is better than mine. Let me get it. It's pointless, because you are prepared for an eternal life. Not the pencil is nothing. So the religious duties, responsibilities become natural to you. Natural to you. Like for a mother taking care of the baby. Oh, I don't know, is there any mother around us? But father, yeah.
Nothing.
But, the mother taking care of the baby, if you think that she is complaining because of the burden, she's taking care of the baby, okay, ask her, give the baby to me. Huh? Give the baby to me, I'm going, I'm taking the baby away. Wow. No. but you seem to be in a trouble. I'm saving you from your trouble. No. You can help me, but the baby will like it becomes a second nature for you. All we call them religious duties. Because the problem, I received some emails asking very fundamental questions, very interesting questions, but the questions are always related to the practical side of religion. I'm fed up with it. Really. Now, somebody can told me this, practical and simple, totally simple questions, and if not stupid. So questions. Well, why the inheritance law gives only half of the property to the women, not men? Inheritance law in Islam. We should understand that any matter which is related to physical action, which is called action-wise, we call them rituals, religious duties, responsibilities. If any of these duties are thought or questioned without referring to its belief foundations, it's meaningless. Why should I do that? Of course, if you steal something, yeah, your hand will be chopped off. No, there are 1 million people in American prisons. Most of them are stealing, insulting other people or stealing. No, 1 million people will be chopped off. It's pointless. But this matter must be related to its belief foundations. Every matter. Everything must be related to its belief foundations. So belief foundations comes from the fact that the human realization of what we have been discussing this morning. The universe is an exhibition hall, and I'm observing it with the qualities given to me again. It is a very consciously, purposefully set project. It's not an accident at all. There's no accident. What is exhibited here, I can experience them, I can appreciate them, I can understand them, because I am given the ability, potentiality to see the meaning behind them, and they are meaningful. It's perfectly adjusted, everything. So in this universe, why do you steal somebody's property if you have this understanding? It is impossible to do that. Let alone stealing itself. You cannot steal. You cannot stay to steal it at all. If somebody does it, it is for the sake of the right of the society, to protect the right of the society, right of the people who are living in the society, to have a peace in the societal life. Nothing to do with this property, whether it is here or in you or in me. That's not really important. But to have the peaceful life for the society, you have to put restrictions in order to get the peace of mind for other people, because some people may exploit it. Not everybody will accept that this is the exhibition hall and my purpose here to understand that the source, the one who creates this universe, is the thing. We know that he's an eternal creator, and don't worry about your future, that you are just here, brought into this world to get acquainted with the source, get ready. Well, not everybody accepts it. So those people who don't have this understanding may steal. The stealing is not an arbitrary action, not arbitrary, meaningless action. Stealing comes from not being able to see, or not using human abilities to see the purpose of existence in this universe, and they will exploit it. When they exploit it, they will disturb the social life of the people. So they need to be protected. But of course, if the man has a reason to steal, if the man has a reason to steal, there's a simple, very simple way of explaining this reality that one, in a hadith. It is very simple way of explaining it. Somebody from the nobles of the society, Meccan society, not Meccan, I'm sorry, mostly in Medina period, Medina society, stolen something, but he was a noble woman, right, in the society. And they said, oh, she's a noble person, we have to interfere and intercede, ask prophet to forgive this lady. She's a noble. And they said, who can really do that? Oh, this person said somebody is a very lovable person to the prophet. If you send him and ask him to forgive her, if he asks the prophet to forgive her, and then I think the prophet wouldn't really turn this intermediary people down. He will accept, okay, for your sake, I know. Do you understand that? I'm not very clear in my language. I know that, but can you guess?
Yes.
So if somebody really intercedes, then the prophet wouldn't say, well, they found out the most beloved person to the prophet, and they go and tell the prophet not to. But he did. And the prophet said, what? The prophet said, what? Because of this attitude that the previous tribe of people, groups of people, the societies, they did not punish if the person is noble in the society, but they punish the poor ones in their society, and that's why they are destroyed. It means they really lost their coherence in their social life. Do you understand? That is the reason. So when we see that, when we see in the existing world the same thing, I say those people, we are in the midtown and the downtown, which is called Wall Street, they do everything, every stealing legally. Do you understand? Everything is legal. The interest is legal, insurance is legal. They just really steal your property, but legally they are fine. But if you steal, let's say something, if you like the pencil, the pencil is becoming famous. So, if you like the pencil in a store, the poor guy, so no, it is $2. I don't have it. Let me steal it. They catch him, put in prison. But the other one is not $2, $2 billion. They steal, not more than $1 billion. The insurance companies. Oh man, the insurance companies are the most profitable business. I think for them. But it is stealing your property. They seem to be helping others when you see what happens. Okay, that is how it works. So, in order to keep the balance in the society, keep the peace in the people, the members of the society, the administrative body should not let these people who don't see this world as an exhibition hall, because they steal because they don't see this world as an exhibition hall. So that destroys the life of the people, lives of the people who see that, look, well, I should be secure because I have my duty now to look at the world and see what is exhibited here and conclude I'm busy with something else. So if you go to the class and the professor is speaking to you, you want to understand the professor, but at the same time, the next door person, next door guy, is going to harm you. What do? You cannot concentrate on your job, your main mission. So you listen to the professor at the same time. When is he going to stop me with the knife? This is what I mean. You cannot do that. So this person must be stopped because he's preventing me from fulfilling my job, my main responsibility or main function being in this world, to see what is exhibited and come to the conclusion and be confident in yourself. So this person must be stopped. But the stealing comes from what? In fact, denying his reality, that the thief. Otherwise, he wouldn't be stealing it. So we have to stop it. It needs to be stopped, but within, of course, certain conditions, not like this society. This society is, in its own mechanism, it is not based on justice. So it is based on the benefit of certain people and against certain. So it doesn't work here. But in the believer society, stealing is a very severe crime, and we have to treat it accordingly. This is what, if you see what I mean. So what they do, how can you cut the chop off a hand of a person who is, let's say, who has stolen one thing from the store? It seems to be so simplistic if you don't base this action on the main purpose of life of human beings on earth. It means belief, we call it belief system. If you don't discuss any rituals or laws, or they call it Sharia laws, the Sharia laws, very severe. No. It is severe for those people who don't really know what they are doing in this world. Otherwise, if you really know what you are doing in this world, what is the purpose of your existence in this world, you cannot really see any burden at all. If you see that you are in an exhibition hall and try to understand what is exhibited, what the meaning behind all this, do you ever think that I have to steal the purse of this person? It's not related to me at all. It is nothing. Whether it is with me or not, this is not the point. The point is its existence. Its existence points to what? The creator of it is absolute. But you are busy with it. And if someone wants to disturb you, it must be prevented. Otherwise, not stealing is not a burden at all. But we think that praying, fasting is a burden. And the society says, what is common now? Let me see another thing that the people confuse mostly, although I know the time is really up. About this, how do you say it in a kind way, sexual desires, getting married, or having, or somehow satisfying their hormones, let's call it in a kind way. But I want it. Get married, man. If you like somebody, get married. Arrange it. Make a life. No, you cannot make it because I don't have enough income. For what? I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to have this, I have to do this, Wedding ceremonies cost us 20,000. No, presents are. Why don't you make it so simple? Because of the influence of the society. What is fashion now? It is incredible. You may be subject to it. No, you cannot get married, but let's make a marriage act, nikah act, make it legal, and you cannot be together. You're playing a game. Why are you playing a game? Why? Because the requirements imposed not by the creator. Society. You cannot do this before you have this, and you have this, you have this. Why don't you make people that, you know, well, for example, you know, I'm old enough to give it, I love you. Yeah? I can share my life with you. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Look, we decided to have a life. That's so simple. There's such simple thing to get married. But now it is the most difficult thing to get married. Even more difficult than to get a job. What's going on? We just really make ourselves in a horrible situation, and the people want, of course, if they don't know what they are living in this world, they don't really make it simple. What they make it in a very complicated and also difficult conditions. They have to do something illegal. And they say, I cannot stop my urge. Yeah, because of your own restrictions, you cannot stop your urge. Yeah, you have to suffer. Why do you follow the society? Why do you follow the culture? Why do you follow your mother-in-law's desires? We don't want it, but you know, my mother says, it's only once. Our own in the family. Who cares your family? When you die, your family will die and perish away. What do you talk about it? Stupid lady. So really make your life very easy. If you think that this world is a transcendental, for example, if you are hungry, you have to eat. If you are hungry for other purposes also, it means really you want to get married. Yes. Go ahead. And it is, if you want to look, I believe that if you are hungry, if you want to eat something, you have to pay something, right? But if you want to satisfy your sexual desires, I'm speaking clearly, you don't have to pay. Just make an agreement, get married, commit, and establish your life together. Why not to pay two different things? Pay one instead of two. Do you see what I mean? It's very simple. It is easier than having your brains. Why don't we? Think about it. So it's saying that, you know, Sharia laws are very difficult, but mostly because people don't get married, and this side of desire of human being is not satisfied. It's a problem. It causes not only a psychological problem, it really turns into biological problem as well. It's for nothing. God just says, or the way it is arranged, just make an agreement within yourself. Commit to each other. It means, look, I will respect you, you respect me. Finish. Finish, announce it. Look, we are not doing something illegal. We agreed. That's it. Announce it. No, we committed to each other. Finish. So simple. It costs you nothing. But there's a walima, sunnah, man. You don't have to do it. Even walima, it means giving food to your neighbors and to your friends and relatives. It is just it is a good thing to do if you can. If you cannot, I have nothing to offer. Bye-bye. Finish. Okay? To hold the hand and go and live in one room instead of living in two rooms or two houses. Life will be easier than being a single person. Oh, this horrible artificial life conditions makes the Sharia implications or applications in our lives more difficult. How can you see that praying is difficult? Going and saying that I'm very happy you invited me to this exhibition hall and you demonstrated all these wonderful arts to me, and I am thankful to you. Do you think it's a burden? It's a human need. Which one? Is the human need or is it a burden? We make it burden because we don't tie it to belief foundations. Otherwise, it's a pleasure. Source of pleasure. Inshallah. So it is too late. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alim al-hakim. Even they pay for act of nikah, they pay $1,000 to the imam. Why, man? Just say, look, we agreed on being together and finish. Why do you need another person to perform a nikah act? It's stupid. Whatever. Who said that there must be an imam to arrange it? Who said that? It's stupid. It's meaningless. Really, they are cheating us. Assalamu alaikum.